What is up, you guys? Has coming at you here with another deck profile, and today we're going to be taking a look at my Elemental Hero / Mass Heroes. Now, this is one of my favorite archetypes. I'm constantly always playing this deck. I constantly always work on this deck, and this is the best / most competitive build that I can build on the budget I have right now. Now, if most of you guys know, I'm from the LA area, so I will be attending the LA Regional, and this is the deck I will pilot. Now, why did I choose this over Magical Musketeers and other decks that I currently play or I could have played? It's just pretty simple. Heroes are a pretty fun archetype. They can catch people by surprise. They're relatively strong, and if played well, can do pretty well. So that's the reason I wanted to showcase this profile before I take it, and I'll keep you guys updated on how it does. I will be recording that whole day, so be on the lookout for that. Now, with the release of Elemental Hero, I think that this deck can do pretty cool things in the upcoming future, so I'll be making a video on my thoughts about Elemental Hero. I mean, solid, man. Yeah, the dude's pretty solid. So without further ado, let's get into it. So this is the hero lineup. You play 2 Vision Hero Vion. Why? Because he's a Foolish Burial and he's a Polymerization Searcher. So what you normally do is you'll normal summon Vion, you'll send Shadow Mist to the grave, you'll add yourself an Honest Neos, and then you can banish the Shadow Mist to get yourself a Polymerization. So in card advantage, that's basically a +1. A +2 if you might, but you're basically using him to get yourself those 2, so it's basically a +1. So he's really good. He's an Ash target, plus you can bait Ash with this and then just do some other things you might need. But Vision Hero Vion is one of my favorites. I'd play him at 3, but I feel at 2 he's really good. Now, Elemental Hero Blazeman is basically a Vision Hero Vion, except that each of these effects are once per turn. But what he does is he's a fire attribute, right? So what you do, he's a Foolish Barrel good that becomes the monster's element he sends and attack. So what you do is basically, if you want to make a Dark Law, if you want to make any of these, if you want to make a Koga or an Acid, you summon Elemental Hero Blazeman, you activate a second ability that during your main phase you can send 1 hero and he gains the attack, attribute, and yeah, that's basically it. So if you send Bubbleman, he'd become water, he'd have 800 attack, or you can send Honest Neos and make Koga, and then Koga has some good chemistry with Honest Neos is in the grave. So Elemental Hero Blazeman is a good one of, and the reason that he's also good is he's searchable with not only Rhoda but Emergency Call. So that's pretty cool. Next we have 3 Elemental Hero Shadow Mist. She's basically like the Stratos of the deck for now when she hits the grave, which is unfortunate. But when she special summon, you get to add a mass or a change quick play spell card, so you could add Form Change or Mass Change. Spoiler alert, I only play Mass Change 1 and Mass Change 2. Not because Form Change isn't a good card, I just feel that it has more synchrony in a deck that has pure fusion like base where you can make multiple fusions. So that's that. But when she's sent to the grave, she lets you add any hero from your deck to your hand. So that's pretty cool. It's important to notice that each of her effects are once per turn, so you can only activate each one once per turn. Next, Neosalius, Elemental Hero Neosalius. I play him because he's pretty strong. He's a light target, so you can make Koga, and he's 1900 attack, which is like out of like everything. It's pretty good for heroes. So you could attack, activate Mass Change, make Koga, banish Neosalius to reduce the monster by 1900 and attack again. So that's pretty cool. Next, Elemental Hero Bowman. I play one of them just because I usually tested them at 2 and I really don't need them, and if I need them I can search them. So that's that. Elemental Hero Honest Neos, because what he does is pretty cool. He's like an Honest with the 2500 limit. So what he does is, for example, let's say I summon Vion and I attack into a monster, I can discard Honest Neos from my hand and basically give Vision Hero Vion 2500 attack and making him 3500 attack, which is pretty cool because most of the time you're going into Dark Law, and Dark Law had that problem where he'd just get ran over easily. So with a 2500 boost, he'd become 49, which is pretty good. Next is Summoner Monk. Summoner Monk, you just pitch a spell to pretty much summon Elemental Hero Shadow Mist, so that's about it. And Goblinberg, because I used to play 10 Goldfishes and they weren't searchable, but Goblinberg is searchable with Rhoda. Yeah, it's searchable with Rhoda, so I just play that. Now, let's get into the hand trap portion of the deck and why I play hand traps. Now, with the game speed increasing ever so much with this, I expected Lynx to kind of slow the game down, but instead it sped it up. So hand traps have become like a necessary evo, or like it just balances the game out a little more to have some going second interactions instead of watching your opponent play 10-minute solitaire. So what I usually do is I just like to run each hand trap at 2. I don't play Ash because I just don't really want to buy it at this time. I used to have it, I sold them because I feel like they were going to get reprinted soon, but these are the hand traps I play in this deck. Now I like to play 2 Ghost Trigger and Snow Rabbit because during either player's turn, if a card activates its effect, you can discard this and destroy it. Drone Lockbird is a card that has gone underestimated for quite some time. It's when your opponent adds a card, so let's say they use Terraforming to add Magical Meltdown, you can draw and lock and basically lock them out of adding any more cards from their deck to their hand, which is also important because, you know, it can just end some players' turns right then and there. So that's the reason I like to play Draw and Lockbird. I feel like it has just the potential to completely stop some players' turns, as in comparison to where Ash Blossom does do more things, where you can stop more cards. Draw and Lock prevents them from drawing, so some decks can just completely fall. Like if they draw and lock me on the adding the mass change, it's fine. You know, you pretty much at that point already done all you can do. But Draw and Lock prevents them from adding any cards from their deck to their hand, so that's pretty cool. Now, Effect Veiler is another underestimated card I see a lot. It's the reason you play it in this deck is because you play Miracle Fusion, or you also play Polymerization, so you can make Elemental Hero the Shining out of these two relatively easy, in case that's, you know, you don't really have any other options. But Effect Veiler completely stops a monster's effect from activating that turn if you discard it when you discard it in the main phase. So what I found myself doing is all Effect Veiler, Utopia, the Lightning, or a Baguska, you know, just to prevent all my monsters from going to defense. So that's basically it. Maxi is just a card. It's become a staple. You're everyone's special summon, so you need to play Maxi. And Gofu, while it isn't a hand trap, it's a one of, so I felt to put it in this portion of the deck. It's just to make an instant Deco Talker. Deco Talker is just incredibly strong for heroes, and having a Deco Talker and a Dark Law is just pretty good. So that's basically the hand trap lineup. Let's get into the spells. I just decided to put in the traps with the spells because the trap lineup is relatively small. So let's begin with the spells. So I like to play 2 Hero Lives because I feel 3 gets too cloggy. It's not a card that I necessarily need to see in my opening hand, and I just don't like really playing a Hero Lives at 3 because I don't like consistently seeing it. I mean, it does give you a free special summon. It does give you a special summon, but the cost is, you know, if you're starting off, it's pretty, you know, it's too much. I feel 4,000 life points is exaggeratedly. It's just too much. Should have been like Ties of the Brethren, where it's like 2,000. Even though, you know, this card is live at all times of the duel, you just, if your hero, most of the time your Dark Law gets destroyed and you don't have any backup, you can just scoop it up, boys. Next, I like to play 3 Mass Change and 1 Mass Change 2. Why? Because Mass Change, you could target a hero and just completely make it a mass hero. While Mass Change 2, you can target, for example, let's say a Ghost Token or a Snow Rabbit, discard it and make a light mass hero, so that's pretty cool. Most of the time I find myself making Dark Law with Summoner Monk, so that's that. Next, I like to play 3 Emergency Calls and 1 Reinforcement of the Army. Now, when I had said that this deck surges a lot, it does, it really does. So you can use any of these as Ash bait, and then maybe activate the Pot of the Desires, you know, going after that once Ash is out of the way. And next, you know, so speaking of Pot of Desires, you play 2 Pot of Desires because it basically speeds up the deck. It does give you a lot of resources to hand, so banishing 10 isn't really much because you like to play 3. Oh well, you play a good portion of everything you need. So Pot of Desires just lets you get those cards you need to hand. Polymerization because it's searchable, and because sometimes when you use Violin's effect or you use Blazeman's effect, people they'll Ash. So that's pretty cool. You can use it as Ash bait to activate any of these other cards to add things you need to hand. Next, Miracle Fusion because it's a in between game card, like going 3rd or 4th turn, where, you know, once you can get heroes to the graveyard pretty fast with all their effects. So, you know, that's just a comeback play. Most of the time I go into The Shining, pretty cool. And next, for board wipes, I play 1 Dark Hole and 1 Raigeki because board wipes are extremely important. And you want to play 2 because I played Raigeki at 1, and most of the time I find myself discarding it with Summoner Monk and not having a board wipe for later. So I just like to play 2. I feel like 2 is good, so it's going 1st or 2nd. It's pretty cool. Solemn Strike, I like to play 2 Strike and 1 Warning to complete the Solemn package. And that's basically it for the spell and trap lineup. Let's get into the extra deck. Alright guys, so jumping into the extra deck, you play Deco Talker and Proxy Dragon because it's Gofu instantly makes these 2. Baguska because he You know, he can stall for a few turns if your opponent doesn't have an out to him. You play the Utopia package because it is really good offensively. Going in second, if you or late in the duel, you can make Utopia the Lightning. He can get over problematic boss monsters like Crystal Wing or Masterpiece if they don't pop them. If you can find a way to bait it, so Utopia the Lightning, and I always tell everybody play 3, so you can have 2 5,000 attacks. Next I play Vision Hero Trinity because all you need is 3 heroes to make, which does sound like a lot, but I find myself going for a game most of the time. Purgatrio was my favorite monster in Invoke, and this is Purgatrio for this deck. Even though he doesn't do piercing damage, he does have 3 attacks, and he becomes 5,000 when you summon him. So if you use Shadow Mist, you can add the Honest Neos to hand and basically make him 7,500 and attack 3 times. Unfortunately, he doesn't attack directly, but with decks that spam all the time, you'll have no problem attacking into something. Next, Vision Hero Adoration, because he's one of the strongest, least required heroes. Meaning, he's like the easiest thing. He's one of the easiest ones to do with polymerization, and he's the strongest with Honest Neos. He's a 5,300, so you can get over Utopia the Lightning sometimes. So that's that, and he has the effect where you can target another hero monster and a monster your opponent controls and reduce that monster's attack by the hero's attacks. For example, let's say I'm playing Blue Eyes for some reason, and I have this guy on the field with Neos Alias, right? So I can target the Blue Eyes, target my Neos Alias. The Blue Eyes loses 1900 attack, and the Neos Alias can basically ram into it at that point, giving you 2800 damage to attack into something else. So he's pretty cool. He's one of my favorite heroes. We need more Vision Hero support. I feel like Vision Heroes have very good potential, and they have Witch Raider and Vion, and Vion is really good. So I feel like Konami should really focus on giving Vision Hero support. That'd be pretty cool, because Destiny Heroes, although they're pretty cool, they don't really mask well with Elemental Heroes, but Vision Heroes, I feel like they can do some really cool things. Next, you like to play Mass Hero Enki, because he could attack directly. It just lowers his attack, and when he destroys a monster, you get to add a change quick play spell from your deck to the hand, or you could set it, I think. So Enki, because when he destroys a monster, you can add a quick play change. You could add a change quick play spell card from your deck to your hand, and you can basically next turn make something else with them. So you can add if you play Form Change, you can make another level 8 Mass Hero. So you could go into, for example, Acid, and that's the reason I play Acid. Acid is a Bubble Man target. Or for example, with Blaze Man, you can discard Bubble Man, make him water, and make Acid. So that's pretty cool. And what he does is he blows back row. So he's a 2600 attack, which is pretty cool for the heroes. But if you destroy all your opponent's back row, you get 300 extra attack. So he's at 29, which is pretty cool. So Mass Hero Acid, I like him. Next is Koga. Now, Mass Hero Koga is my favorite of the Mass Heroes because he's pretty much a game ender. If you made him and you've already used an Honest Neos, he has the effect where he gains 500 for each card your opponent controls, and then this is a quick effect. So you can banish a hero from your graveyard and target one monster, and that monster loses attack equal to the banished hero's attack. So for example, I always say use Blue Eyes for some crazy reason, but let's say I'm playing Blue Eyes, and this guy, my opponent, has 1 Blue Eyes on the field, 3000 attack, right? So his attack becomes 3000. I can banish said Honest Neos from the graveyard, target that Blue Eyes, he loses 2500 attack, and Koga could attack for 3000, I believe. Yeah, 3000, so that's pretty cool. Next, Darklaw. Darklaw is what you find yourself going into most of the time. He screws over a lot of decks because everything sent to the graveyard is banished instead, and if your opponent adds, you can rip a card out of their hand and banish it. So playing Lightsworn, playing ABC, they have a hard time getting over this card unless they kaiju it, which sucks. But that's what you get for playing heroes. You're playing Darklaw. There has to be some consequences. So if they can get over Darklaw, or if they play they need stuff in the grave deck, Darklaw completely says screw that. Everything's banished. We're playing by my rules now. So I just absolutely love Darklaw, and you have to play 2 of. Next, Elemental Hero Shining. Also another of my favorite heroes. What he does is basically, if heroes are banished, he gains 300 for each. So if you banish 2, he'll basically be at 3200. So with Miracle Fusion, which for some reason I do find myself adding a lot because you add so many cards between the game that you'll just draw into it. So he's 3200 if you use Miracle Fusion. And all you really need to make him is 1 hero monster and 1 light. So you can use Effect Veiler if it's not being useful in your hand, or a Ghost Ogre and any hero monster. So that's pretty cool. Next is Elemental Hero Absolute Zero. This guy is super awesome because I've played with him in a Paleo matchup, and he was basically at 3500. So that was pretty fun. the best memory I have of him. But when he leaves the field, he completely nukes your opponent's board. So you could honestly make him mass change into acid, blows his board, make your acid, and there you go. So that's basically the extra deck. Let me know what you guys think of it. Are there any heroes you would play, or are there any heroes that you guys play? For example, I used to play Great Tornado when I played Avion in the deck. I have like a version of this deck where it's just basically fun fusion based, where I play Form Change. So let me know if there's any heroes you guys would take out of here and put in. So you know, I'll be reading that before I head into the regionals this Saturday. I'll post this video by Friday. So if you're watching it by Friday, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So let me know if there's any heroes you guys would take out and put in. But for right now, let's just... So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Let me know what you think of the deck profile in the comment section below. So I'll be taking this deck to regionals. I'll keep you guys updated. I'll be recording all day at regionals, and I'll be updating like a daily video of me and my friends just, you know, just seeing our reactions to each round, you know, what we're doing. And just, this is my second regional, and my first regional was a pretty bad experience because I had to leave early due to work. So, you know, this time I'm hoping to do pretty well. I'm not expecting to, you know, be in like the top tables, but I'll be in those middle, table 100, table 150. So, you know, if you guys are in the LA area and you guys want to get a game, I'll be more than glad to get a game. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you all to all those who watch the videos, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. So without further ado, this is my Elemental Hero deck. I hope to do pretty well at regionals. I hope to get at least a few games. I hope to not get OTK'd by Spirals and Pen Magician every game. So for now, Sesma, and I am out. Have a good day, guys.